Driving into Gary is an experience steeped in contrasts, one that evokes a mix of curiosity, melancholy, and fleeting moments of nostalgia. The City Hall, like many of the city's older buildings, has a haunting and intimidating presence, largely due to its architectural style, the surrounding urban decay, and the eerie atmosphere that permeates much of the city. As you approach from Interstate 94, you first notice the towering skeletal remains of the steel industry, rusted and worn, standing like the ghosts of a different era. The sheer scale of these industrial relics immediately creates a sense of weight, as if the air itself carries the memories of the thousands who once labored here. The sky is often a dull gray, sometimes mixed with traces of pollution from old factories, creating a gloomy feeling before you even enter the city. Entering the heart of Gary, the feeling deepens. The roads are uneven, cracked from decades of neglect, with patches of weeds pushing defiantly through the asphalt. Empty lots, overtaken by nature, sit beside rows of homes. Some boarded up, some half-collapsed, their windows dark and vacant. You can't help but feel a heavy silence pressing in, a silence that speaks not of peace but of abandonment. As you drive deeper, a strange duality settles in. On one hand, there is an eerie beauty in the decay, nature reclaiming what was once thriving civilization. Ivy curls around rusted fences, trees grow through the roofs of old buildings, and wildflowers sprout in places that were once bustling storefronts. But this beauty is undercut by an overwhelming sadness. You pass by empty schools with shattered windows, their playgrounds rusting, swings swaying in the wind, with no one to push them. The sight of a once grand movie theater, its marquee faded and letters missing, evokes an almost cinematic sense of loss. It is a city frozen in time, trapped in the echoes of its better days. Despite the desolation, there are still signs of life. In certain neighborhoods, you see homes that are well kept, their porches lined with potted plants, showing that not everyone has left. A few stores remain open, mostly liquor stores and convenience marts with bars on the windows. Occasionally, you pass a church with a freshly painted sign, a reminder that faith and community still persist, even in the midst of hardship. There are people here, residents walking the streets, waiting at bus stops, chatting on stoops. Their expressions often seem weary, but there's also a quiet resilience in their eyes. Gary is the city where Michael Jackson grew up. His childhood home is located at 2300 Jackson Street. It is a small, modest, single-story house with white siding and a black roof, standing as a symbol of the Jackson family's humble beginnings before they rose to fame. The house is part of a quiet, working-class neighborhood, though the area has seen economic decline over the years. The Jackson family, including Michael and his siblings, lived in this tiny two-bedroom home in the 1950s and 60s before moving to California when the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records. Today, the house is a historical landmark for fans of Michael Jackson and his music. A monument sits in the front yard, featuring a stone plaque with images of Michael and his brothers. Visitors often come to pay their respects, leave flowers, and take photos, especially on anniversaries of Michael's birth and passing. Though the house is privately owned and not open to the public, the city of Gary has recognized the Jackson family's impact. At times, the town has held celebrations honoring Michael, including plans for a museum and cultural center, though many of these projects have not come to fruition due to financial constraints. Gary as a city was established in 1906 by the United States Steel Corporation and was named after its founding chairman, Albert Henry Gary. The city was purposely built to accommodate the company's new steel plant, Gary Works, which remains the largest integrated steel mill in North America, producing 6 million tons of steel annually. Throughout the mid-20th century, Gary thrived as a bustling industrial hub, with its economy heavily reliant on steel manufacturing. However, starting in the 1970s, the city faced significant economic challenges due to industry contraction, automation, and foreign competition. These factors led to substantial job losses, with U.S. Steel's local workforce dwindling from over 30,000 employees in 1970 to just 5,000 by 2015. The economic downturn precipitated a sharp decline in Gary's population. From a peak of over 178,000 residents in 1960, the number fell to 50,000 in 2024. This demographic shift was accompanied by significant racial changes. While the city was initially diverse, it now has one of the nation's highest percentages of African Americans, comprising approximately 81% of the population as of 2024. Socioeconomically, Gary faces considerable challenges. The median household income is about $32,000 per year, with a per capita income of just $18,000. Notably, over 41% of residents live below the poverty line. Crime has been a major challenge for the city. For years, Gary was considered one of the most dangerous cities in the U.S., though crime rates have recently decreased due to the shrinking population. The city's murder rate once ranked among the highest per capita, drawing national attention. As of the latest data, Gary's crime rate stands at 39 per 1,000 residents, significantly higher than the national average. Residents face a 1 in 22 chance of becoming a victim of either violent or property crime. The violent crime rate is particularly alarming, with a likelihood of 1 in 85, encompassing offenses such as murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. In recent years, city officials, including Mayor Eddie Melton, have initiated efforts to revitalize Gary. Strategies focus on infrastructural projects, environmental sustainability, and partnerships with academic institutions. These initiatives aim to transform Gary into a logistics hub and address long-standing social and economic challenges. Gary has also appeared in popular culture, serving as a backdrop for movies and documentaries exploring urban decay and economic hardship. Films like Transformers, Dark of the Moon, and A Nightmare on Elm Street used its eerie and abandoned buildings for filming locations. The city's landscape, filled with ruins of grand structures from a better time, has attracted urban explorers and photographers from around the world. Despite its struggles, Gary has natural beauty. It is located on the shores of Lake Michigan and is home to part of the Indiana Dunes National Park, offering stunning beaches and scenic trails. The city also hosts the Gary Air Show, which, when held, draws large crowds to its lakefront. Today, Gary continues to grapple with the enduring effects of industrial decline, economic hardship, and crime. The city's journey reflects the broader narrative of many Rust Belt communities striving to redefine themselves in a changing economic landscape.